Hey everybody, Dr. Nelson here. This is a lesson on how to simplify expressions written in scientific notation. And this time we're going to talk about how to simplify expressions involving addition and subtraction. So what I want you to do is I want you to take notes on these first two problems, and then there'll be some problems for you to try, and then at the end you can see how you did. So take a look at this first problem. We have 4.1 times 10 to the 4th plus 2.3 times 10 to the 6th. All right. Now we could write these out in standard form and then add them together and then rewrite it in scientific notation, but I'm going to show you a different way of doing this. All right. One way that you can simplify this is to rewrite each part of the expression raised to the power of 10 to the same power. So notice we have a 4 and we have a 6. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to rewrite these to the power of 5. So 10 to the power of 5 for each part. Okay? So notice, in order for me to go from 10 to the 4th to the 10 to the 5th, I'm really multiplying this one by another 10, right? So in order to keep it balanced, I'm going to divide this by 10. So this is really going to be 0.41 times 10 to the 5th. Okay? That's the same thing as 4.1 times 10 to the 4th. Now this one, we're going from 10 to the 6th down to 10 to the 5th. So we're really dividing that by 10, right? So if I divide this part by 10, I need to do the opposite and multiply this one by 10. So this is really going to be 23 times 10 to the 5th. Now let's put these in parentheses. And of course we have a plus sign. Now that we have 10 to the 5th power for each part, now we can just add 23. I'm going to underline that, and 0.41, and that gives us 23.41, and then now times 10 to the 5th power. Now the answer is pretty close, but now we need to write it in scientific notation, right? Because remember, this can be left as a 23.41. So I'm going to now divide this by 10 and make that a 2.341. But when I divide this part by 10, to keep it balanced, I need to add a 1 to this. So that's going to be times 10 to the 6th. And now this is written in scientific notation. All right, let's take a look at the second problem here. Here we have 8.8 times 10 to the 5th minus 3.5 times 10 to the 3rd. Okay? So again, we need to rewrite these both to the 10 to the same power. So again, notice here we have a power of 5, and here we have a power of 3, okay? So I'm going to rewrite these as 10 to the power of 4. All right, now when we go from 10 to the power of 5 to 10 to the power of 4, we're dividing by 10, right? So if I divide this by 10, I need to multiply this by 10. So this is now going to be 88 times 10 to the 4th power. Put that in parentheses, minus, now this time here we're going from 10 to the 3rd to the 10 to the 4th. Okay, so we're multiplying this by 10. So to keep it balanced, we need to divide this one by 10. So this is going to equal 0.35 times 10 to the 4th. All right, now here's a big thing you need to understand. All right, 88 times 10 to the 4th is the same as up here on the top, 8.8 times 10 to the 5th, okay? And 0.35 times 10 to the 4th is the same as 3.5 times 10 to the 3rd, okay? But now that we have the same bases and exponents, now we can do 88 minus 0.35, which gives us 87.65 times 10 to the 4th, all right? And last but not least, remember, this is not written in scientific notation, right? So I'm going to divide this by 10, which makes it 8.765. But if I divide this by 10, I need to multiply this by 10 to make it times 10 to the 5th. And there's our answer. All right. These are a little tricky, but I want you to try the problems on the next page, and then you can see how you did. All right, good luck. Hey everybody, welcome back. Let's see how you did with these problems, okay? So the first one we had 7.3 times 10 to the 8th plus 5.1 times 10 to the 4th. Okay, so notice our powers are 8 and 4, okay? So I like to kind of choose a number in between 8 and 4. So I'm going to go with 6. So we're going to have 10 to the 6th for each part. All right, so notice to go from 10 to the 8th to 10 to the 6th, we have to divide by 100. So I'm going to take the 7.3 and do the opposite and times it by 100. So when I do that, we now get 730 times 10 to the 6th. That's the first part. All right. Now this one, we have 10 to the 4th. And to go from 10 to the 4th to 10 to the 6th, we need to multiply by 100. So I need to now divide this part, the 5.1 by 100. So I'm going to move the decimal 2 spots to the left. I'm going to add a 0 there. So now we get 0.051. All right? I'm going to put that in parentheses. Times 10 to the 6th. Okay? Now that we have the same bases and powers, now we can add the 730 and the 0.51. So that's 730.051. And that's going to be times 10 to the 6th power. Okay? But this is not written in scientific notation, right? So I'm going to move this decimal 2 spots to the left to make it 7.30051. And by doing that, I'm dividing by 100. So to keep it balanced, I need to then multiply the 10 to the 6th by 100, and that'll make it 10 to the 8th. So our answer is 7.30051 times 10 to the 8th. All right, take a look at the next one here. Here we have 2.5 times 10 to the 5th minus 1.2 times 10 squared. Okay, and this time our powers are 5 and 2, right? So there really isn't a number right between 5 and 2, so I'm going to go with, how about 10 to the 3rd power? All right, so to go from 10 to the 5th to 10 to the 3rd power, I'm dividing by 100, right? So if I'm going to divide this by 100, I need to multiply this by 100. So that'll make it 250 times 10 to the 3rd minus, okay? Now this one we're going from 10 squared to 10 cubed. So I'm multiplying this by 10, okay, which means I need to divide this one by 10. So that's going to be 0.12 times 10 to the 3rd for that one, okay? And now I can do 250, take away the 12 hundredths, okay? So that'll give us 249.88 times 10 to the 3rd, okay? Now this is not written in scientific notation, right? So I need to put this decimal between the 2 and the 4. So in order to do that, I need to divide by 100. So that's going to make it 2.4988 times. Now because I divided by 100, I need to multiply this one by 100. Okay? So that's going to make that 10 to the 5th. And there's our answer. All right, how'd you do?